Now. All right. So my name is Rich Tomasini. Thank you for coming to understand how EXP works as a real estate brokerage and a technology platform. I have a special guest today, Tina Caul, who was the #1 agent in her prior firm in Raleigh, North Carolina. They sold 475 homes between 2018 and 2019. I think Tina did 100 of them as the team lead herself. She was considered one of the most influential agents in North and South Carolina. I live in North Carolina, so I heard about that. And she's been with EXP now for, I think, 16 months and has grown her team from a handful of agents that are very dominant in the state to almost 300 agents across the globe. So I'm in very, very good company. I'll give you a quick resume for myself, which is going to leave you highly disappointed after the last 2 seconds. I have been in real estate also like Tina for over 20 years. I'm not giving away our ages. It's obviously been harder on me than it's been harder on her. We actually sold about $500 million of real estate as listing agents in a small town called Mooresville, North Carolina, just north of Charlotte. I was an appraiser for 8 years before that. And then I came over to EXP in 2017. I'm approaching my 3rd-year anniversary in September. And I built my team from 3 agents to almost 1,000 agents at this company solely because of how cool the platform is. I just follow directions. So we're going to talk about kind of the 3-lane highway that EXP is. We're going to talk about lane 1, which is selling real estate. This is the hamster on the wheel image. We all have been there. We signed up for this. We like doing this. So we're going to sell real estate here at EXP, and I'm going to show you the tools to sell more of it, to get more of your time back, to have technology like you've never seen before here at exclusively at EXP. We also are going to add 2 more lanes to this long drive on your career. Lane 2 is stock. Instead of giving you trophies, which we do still give trophies, by the way, if you are an icon agent, we'll explain what that is. You get a beautiful glass trophy in the mail. But instead of typically giving away our traditional awards for high achievement, what EXP does is it will allow you to take all the money that you paid in out of your commission and get it back in stock. We also give you stock for milestones within your career. The stock is traded on the NASDAQ, so you can just type in EXP. I stands for international, so it's EXPI. And I think we were trading roughly around $20 a share this week. So that's been wonderful because it was like $2.87 when I came over. And the people that came over a year before me told me it was 15 cents. So this has been a nice little side ancillary income base for us. And then lastly, this is the lane that you're going to work on only if you decide to do it. You don't have to enroll in this. There's no cost of enrolling. But if you decide that you want to start handpicking the agents that you want to work with and create a team that's bigger than you individually or what you're bringing to the company or the brokerage that you're bringing to the company, we call it revenue share. And what EXP has created is a system where they take 50% of their gross revenue and they give it back to the agents that grow the company through the form of stock and through a form called revenue share, where you actually get a very small percentage of the production of all the agents that are in your group. And that can compound 7 times. And we will pop the hood open. Tina's going to explain it to you because some of you guys have heard me explain it too many times. So anyway, that's what we're ready to embark on. So let's get ready to rock and roll. We are going to cover these things: who we are, how we operate, what our business model looks like. We're going to talk about real numbers. We're going to show you our EXP World, which is our virtual cloud-based office. Barry's going to have his toes in the sand next week, I think, at Folly Beach. Well, his entire office and 400 employees are going to be right there under his laptop to help him do work so he can't enjoy his vacation at all. We have EXP Solutions. We actually have specific tools and systems at this company to help put the wind at your back so you sell more real estate. And then lastly, if you just fall in love with us over the next hour, we have an ability for you to join EXP on the spot or to continue to do your research. So let's get right into it. So this dapper gentleman on the right side is a huge IT tech type of guy. He got into the real estate business after being on Wall Street and doing a couple startups in 2002. He went and worked for Keller Williams, who's a very dynamic company back in 2002. And within 4 years of being in business, he had his team selling $60 million of business by finding his clients online. Revolutionary back in 2002. I can promise you I was there. and we were spending $10,000 on websites. And then here's Glenn in Bellingham, Washington, connecting with clients online and running a multi-state team. He thought that the benefit to the broker was much better than the benefit to the agent. So in 2009, he created the first cloud-based brokerage called EXP Realty to make the agents all owners. Imagine that. At EXP, the agents own the company. We're all shareholders. And the way that we were able to find that money in a new company was to reduce the expenses. So he created a cloud-based office so we can get rid of our $30,000 leases and all of our employees sitting in these empty buildings and our power bills and our staplers and pens and all the stuff that we steal at 9 o'clock at night by accident. All of that stuff's been totally removed, and we now operate on a cloud-based system. So let's give you a real quick snapshot of what that's looked like. So in 2009, awesome. Glenn stepped out and did something that no one else has ever done. By 2010, we had our cloud technology, which is run by Virabella. We own them now, had us opened up with a virtual brokerage where we could get 50 agents online and the system wouldn't crash. So we opened up into 11 states. It's a pretty cool setup. By 2011, 2 years later, Swampole, which is pretty much the cornerstone of real estate industry news, had earmarked us as a company to watch out for. By 2012, Glenn Sanford became one of the top 100 most influential people in real estate. He made the company public in 2013 to make sure every agent that had been with him from 2009 to 13, which was only a couple hundred agents at that point, could all own shares of stock, and this could be their baby. So he did that, and we got traded on the OTC under the same ticker, EXPI. In 2014, we launched into Canada. In 2015, 2 programs were implemented at this company that I believe are a major separator between us and every other real estate firm. One, we have the agent equity program where you can take 5% of your commission if you choose to, or if you can earmark all your deals or just one deal, whatever you want, no deals, and you can get the stock at a 10% discount. So this is a way that we've been able to build a lot of stock as agents while it's climbed from $2.87 3 years ago to $20 a share now. Right. And then also we created the Icon Agent Award. So what we wanted was the best agents in the country, and we got them. And one of the ways that we were able to get them to come over, I mean, I did 43 million in 2017. I don't know what Tina did. She can kind of fill you in on her numbers, but I think it was more than that. But we were big agents looking at this company. And when we saw this Icon ability, it made it a no-brainer. It was enough to offset the fear of making a change. And what the Icon is that once you cap, if you don't know what a cap is, this is going to be a wonderful call for you, right? But we have like a $16,000 cap. That's like a deductible, and you'll never pay more than $16,000 out of your commission to the company. You'll go to 100% as soon as you make that mark. We're at an 80-20 until you hit that 16,000, and then 100% after. So I capped in 5 weeks when I came over here. My first 2 or 3, 2 months, I was already at 100%. That's too much. 2 months. So what happened is at that point, a secondary clock starts at EXP. And if you do 20 more transactions, which are defined as a sale, a lease, or a referral, and when I show you what our referral network looks like, it's going to make this a lot more manageable. But if you do 20 transactions, once you're at 100%, they give me back the 20% that I paid in, or the $16,000 in stock as an Icon Agent Award. And then and only then am I allowed to teach in the cloud university to other agents. We want the best teachers in the country teaching. So I thought that was a really cool setup in 2015 that separated us. In 2016, we tripled our agent count. So let's just put a little bit of perspective in this, because a lot of you don't know how many agents we have. We are the fastest growing real estate company that's ever existed in the industry. And now, thanks to Barry Pulver and Adam Day, who opened up the UK, Barry's a good friend of mine that lives a 5-minute car drive away. We actually are the fastest growing real estate company that's ever existed in the UK as well. And in 2015, we had, 2015, 16, right around that mark, we had about 500 agents. Now we have 32,000 agents, and we're adding 2,000 agents a month. It's pretty insane. In 2018, we became one of the best places to work at Glassdoor, and we took the record for reaching 10,000 agents faster than Keller Williams and Coldwell Banker and everybody else. And in 2018, we joined the NASDAQ, and we had this big, awesome EXP logo on Times Square, and people were celebrating and popping champagne bottles, and all the agents sitting in their living rooms watching TV or on their laptops or on their phones just smiled, because this is our company. And then lastly, Glenn became the Innovator Award broker from Inman, which is a very, very nice nod to being as brilliant as he's been. So that is EXP in 2 minutes from 2009 to 2020. When we talk about agent count, I touched on this. These charts are just hard to keep up with because our uphill climb makes them outdated in just a couple months. So imagine in this crazy business, right? I was an appraiser. I flipped $30 million of real estate. I sold, $500 million of listings in this town. I'm building out my team. I would say I'm pretty experienced. I'm not genetically white-haired at 43. Well, imagine in this business, as crazy as this industry is if a company was created based on core values. I know it sounds very idealistic, but it's true. We use community like no other company's ever done it, and we do it through two very, very unique methodologies. One, we use Workplace. Workplace was built by Facebook. It is Facebook. On my icon on my MacBook, it shows Facebook Work, and it shows Facebook with the same exact logo, right? So Facebook actually allows all 32,000 agents of us to collaborate and to share listing presentations and tips and to get real-time responses and comments from our other shareholders and colleagues to give referrals agent to agent without any middlemen. Very cool thing. And then we also use the EXP World Cloud Office, in which my avatar, I know it sounds a little crazy. I was a little too old for video games to really resonate for me. But by using our avatars, we've allowed ourselves to rid ourselves of all the other expenses like Amazon has. And it allows the agents to get stock and revenue from the company versus have these expenditures go into places that might not be important to you. So we use this EXP cloud system to get all of our education, to collaborate, to have our office space, to have meeting rooms. My God, we even played the UK guys in soccer and lost, right? We lost? America lost? Yeah. Anyway, so we have these two different things along with our in-person stuff pre-COVID. Fun. My avatar has 4% body fat and is perfectly dressed and looks wonderful all day long. Right? So these avatars are pretty cool. It's got my voice, but I'm always perfectly professional and ready to go when I go collaborate with agents all over the place, whether I'm sitting with my 4-year-old on my lap or I'm eating a burrito while I'm driving stick shift. It's all right there. Okay. Agility. This company announces everything through Workplace because it's our own Facebook. And you see EXP announcements and it'll say, hey, listen, we just offered healthcare. This is our first year we have healthcare. 32,000 of us have discounted healthcare at this company. Innovation, I won't even have to expand upon that. We're going to just show it to you. Integrity, we are handpicking our agents. Every other company I've ever worked with, I've joined an office that's already had a culture and somebody else who was hired to fill the seats in the office picked the people that I worked around. And I loved 15% of them and 85% of them I didn't know, right? So here at EXP, we have grown from 0 agents to 32,000 agents by one good agent at a time, inviting another agent that they liked and respected in the business. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not a perfect working system, but I have met the highest caliber of realtors in the business at EXP here. Service, immediate real-time support, East Coast, 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. Now that we have Australia and the UK here, it's going to be 24/7 very shortly. Sustainability, well, imagine if you didn't have franchises and all these different hands in the pot of money and territories and all of these limiting things that really embark on your opportunity. All these margins are your opportunity. We've gotten rid of all that. We don't have all of this antiquated expense sheet to come off our record. So the next time there's a housing correction, EXP is perfectly positioned running as an efficient financial machine. Collaboration, again, we do this in a unique way because we're all shareholders, and then transparency. It's very easy to see how we operate at this company. Just type in the stock and the FTC and SEC moderates all of our financials. You don't have to guess where we're at. So let's just take a step back and let's go back up to 35,000 feet in the air flying our plane here, okay? Wow, why would we have a real estate brokerage that's virtual? It would never work, right? Well, I don't know. Most of us are watching our TV online. You know, Netflix and Amazon is my entire source of TV and YouTube, really, frankly. And then Amazon has put every brick and mortar retail business on their heels or in bankruptcy court, period. We're using Uber and Lyft instead of Yellow Cab because it's a better experience. It's easier to get them there. They're faster. The cars are nicer. The drivers seem to be more interesting, right? It's a better experience. I'm not going to a travel agent to book my trips. I'm going on Expedia and I'm getting my flight, I'm getting my hotel, I'm getting my rental car all in one shot. Simple, right? Many of you guys are meeting your partners online, right? You're on Match.com. You're not sitting, you're not meeting people everywhere that we've always met people, church, bars, and everywhere in between setups, right? I mean, we're doing a lot of our life through our digital immersion. So why not do real estate? Well, the traditional real estate brokerage owners never wanted this model. It's like the tire manufacturers. They don't want tires that last 200,000 miles, even though we can make them, right? Because if you have an office, then there's some kind of value proposition for the agents to stay. And we are not an office unfriendly company. We just don't force it upon you. We have 3,000 Regus executive suites scattered throughout the whole world. Within me, I have 3 within a 15-minute drive that we can use for free and walk into the swanky modern appearance of the lounge and meet our clients there if we don't want to do coffee shops or do it in the field like we oftentimes do it. We also have the ability to have your own office. I sit in an office right now that I share with 3 of my closest friends. So pretty cool. So the traditional brokerage, the brokerage that all of us have known and some of us have built, suffers from all of the stuff on the left side of this screen. First of all, we're not a franchise, we're a brokerage. So we have 100 agents in Montana. I would never be able to open up an office in Montana because not everybody wants to drive 400 miles to go see me at work. At EXP, they have an internet connection. They can all work here. We can be in places that other companies aren't. Therefore, we are. We're in more markets in the United States than any other company's ever been. We don't have to deal with the franchise fees. We don't have to deal with costly overhead and desk fees and all of the, things that companies are still running on. We're a totally green company. We're not locally confined. If I want to find the best talent to be on my team, I'm not stuck in 28117 zip code. I can go anywhere in the world. I have agents in 23 states and in 6 countries because we're not limited. Inconsistent growth incentives, right? Most of the time we see brokerage owners, which we were built for, frankly, brokerage owners, and then a bunch of realtors came over here. But I mean, most of the time brokerage owners are still having to sell real estate. And you run into this team problem where the best person on your team ends up competing against you and leaves for the opportunity, the difference that you're getting off them, and the people that you wish would leave stay for forever. And at EXP, it doesn't have to be that. You can have a team here where they have the same opportunity that you do. They have the same ability to get stock and to icon, and they have the same ability to grow their teams. So we're finding our attrition rate is the lowest. We have the lowest amount of exiting agents in the country. In the real estate business, I think we're at 2.5 or 3% of agents exiting this company out of 32,000 agents. There are companies that I won't name that are at 36, 37%, big companies, right? So by not pigeonholing the agent and putting them in too small of a birdcage, they're actually able to really get their footing here and feel like home and grow out and not have to change firms every 6 years like the rest of us all have. Limited technology and support. Our old technology at my last company was a magazine on a coffee table and an internal site like SkySlope to use for our forums. Most of our business generation was our burden, right? Which is fine. I mean, we're self-employed. We should be generating our own business. At EXP, they decided to add some gas to the fire on that with some of our programs. We have a cloud campus environment. You can go in there and get real-time support and get up to 100 hours a week by the icon agents, the best agents in the world. Live training. It's 50 to 100 hours a week. I haven't seen a 50-hour week in months. Real-time support. If I have a problem with my MacBook, I go into the IT department. They hijack my computer, fix it, and send me off with no bill. If I have an accounting problem, I go in there and talk to an accountant live. If I need a commission check to be wired on my account the same day of closing in North Carolina, I can do it from the beach and go into the closing disclosure agreement. They send it to the paralegal. I don't even send it. It gets wired into my account. I check my account. If there's an issue, I go in there live. It's in my account right then. Pretty insane, right? We have the ability to collaborate internationally. I have 75 new UK friends that Barry introduced me, 71. Is that right? New UK friends that we do weekly phone calls with. We had our call again on Monday. And you get to, I mean, it's a worldly experience. You're not stuck in a small map anymore. Someone that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody works everywhere. And here they compound on our team and build residual income. And we'll talk about that at the end. It's not, our average agent at EXP brings over 1 to 2 agents per year. It's really not a system that most people use. It's just that you have Tina and I presenting today, and we both believe in it. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. And then the last thing is powerful equity opportunity. You get revenue from the company through stock. So we've been able to earn stock all along the way. And with the stock doing what it's done, especially during COVID, because we were built for that model, it's been awesome. It was $7 a share pre-COVID, and it's $20 a share right now. Pretty insane. So the cloud campus allows us to do things that other companies can't do. The live training gets emailed to your email every Sunday night, so you can earmark the classes that you really want to see. Real-time support puts you in a position where you're never alone. And then lastly, international collaboration. Right now, we are in 7 countries. We're in the United States, in all 50 states, in more markets than anyone ever has been in. I think 430 markets. We're in every part of Canada. We are in the UK, all 4 countries, and we're in Australia. And we just brought over Michael Valdez about 3 months ago, who's very exciting. He worked for Realogy, which owns Coldwell Banker and Better Homes and Gardens and all that. And he opened up 70 new countries under his long tenure there and managed 113 countries. He's now at EXP. And our goal before Michael was hired was to open up 2 new countries every single year. That has been expanded to 10 new countries every year because he has the know-how to do it. So I am going to turn over into lane 2. So we talked a little bit about lane 1, not all of it. Now let's go into lane 2 for a second and talk to you about how you earn shares of stock at EXP. And my co-host Tina is going to take over. Thanks, Tina.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here. I mean, Rich is a guy that I followed for a long time before I came to EXP. So, our team was at 20 years in the business. We were at about 75 million over at KW when we moved over. And now we're going to be 120 million at EXP. So part of the reason that I came over was for the stock, if you could believe that. I'm an entrepreneur first, and I always want to create opportunities in my business. And so even though I loved my former brokerage, great people, great staff, we just wanted to add an equity opportunity to our business and the revenue shares. So the cool thing is when I joined EXP, I knew that I would be a capping agent. In my market, it's about 8 deals to cap. We're at about 375,000 per transaction on average. So 8 to 10 deals caps you. And then the company does, if you go on to sell 20 more units, like Rich was talking about earlier, they do reward you with icon agent status. And they send you a really nice trophy, but the most important thing is that trophy has earned value. Those are the 2 trophies that I keep on my desk right now. I threw away all my other ones from Remax and Keller, put them in a closet because those trophies were about my ego. These trophies are about something tangible, that I'm truly an owner in the company. So just in the 15 months that I've been here, I have $45,000 worth of company stock that was awarded to me through earning shares through my first transaction, earning shares when you cap, earning shares when you invite an agent over and that agent actually closes their first transaction, earning your Icon Agent Award, and then having the opportunity to invest in this company was a game changer for me. So when I joined, I believe the stock was right around $6 or $7 a share. I decided that I wanted to risk my own money, and I took 5% of my commission check, every commission check that came in, and I bought stock at a 10% discount. And the reason I did it is I have a friend that worked for a big, huge pharmaceutical company. She bought stock in her company. She was awarded stock in her company. And after 10 years, her company was bought out and she was given $1.8 million worth of stock that she had earned in that 10 years. And when I asked her, should I buy? She said, buy the stock if you love the company. Well, I love the company. I buy the stock. And I got to say, we've made probably over $170,000 just in our stock alone. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, Rich, but I'm saying it because I'm excited about it. So anyway, the fact that I own a piece of this company now, it's not only, I think that people don't understand that we don't just own EXP. EXPI is that Virbela platform, and Virbela is attracting so many other businesses. It's attracting universities. It's attracting people that want to run their summits and their meetings through Virbela. So we have a plethora of businesses that are going to be looking at a cloud-based solution for them. And the fact that I own a piece of that and my company is run through that same solution makes me proud and makes me very excited. When you think about Remax in its heyday was worth $50 a share, I know that this company, because of its trajectory, is going to be, headed that way. So that's my opinion. It's my personal opinion. And I think it's a great way to actually earn a sliver of something when you're going to be doing the hard work versus having the owners take part in that. So, all right, let's go to the next slide. Let's see if I can do this right. There we go. We do have an agent voice in the community. So the coolest thing about this company is oops. Oh, did you move that over? There we go. Am I doing that, or are you, Rich? Sorry.
I messed you up. Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to touch it. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, just agent voice in the community. We do have an AAC. So the coolest thing about this company when I moved over is that I literally reached out to the founder, the CEOs on Workplace. People do respond to you. It's pretty darn amazing that your leadership. At both of my other companies, I never knew the big guys at the top. I mean, I didn't get to meet them. I didn't get to talk to them. And it's just so nice that our agents do participate in every facet of the company. So if you want to be part of that, it's something that you can get involved in. All right, let me see if I can get to the rev share portion. There we go. All right, so the rev share plan. So the coolest thing about this is, for me, I look at EXP and I think that there are 5 pillars to EXP. You've got revenue share opportunities, you've got stock, you've got leads and KV core, so your CRM is given to you, included in the $85 a month. You've got training, like Rich said, from icon agents, and now you've got healthcare. So for me, I had leads and training at my other company. They pretty much left me on an island and said, go do your thing. But I didn't have all the other things. I didn't have the health insurance. I didn't have stock in my company, and I sure as heck did not have a revenue share plan. So for me, I was leaving the company anyway, that my former company. I was going out on my own, and I got derailed by a friend that said, you need to look at this. And what was my first reaction? No way, I'm not going to a cloud-based avatar company. That sounds stupid. Those were my words. I will eat them now, and I forever apologize to Michelle, my sponsor. However, when she showed me the revenue share plan, think about it this way. I've been working for 20 years in a business. I sell 100 homes personally. My team will sell 400 homes this year. But every year that I wake up on January 1st, I've got to do it again and again and again. So I am a high paid employee. That's how I looked at myself before EXP Realty. I earn a damn good salary, but I'm just a high paid employee, an hourly employee. Now with revenue share, I've actually been able to expand and monetize my brain, invite people into my company, other agents that maybe aren't doing as good as me, bringing them into the company, showing them what the company can do for them. And as I'm pouring into those agents, their EXP is actually rewarding me with a little piece of revenue that comes from that agent's portion that they send to EXP. So it's true residual income. I know that Warren Buffett always says you need to figure out a way to make money in your sleep. This is actually the exact same thing, because as I'm giving agents what they want and we're grouping together to form an alliance, it's truly a win-win, because now I care about their production. We're no longer competitors. We're kind of in this cohesive world where we're trying to help each other grow. So revenue share, to me, it's sort of like owning rental property, right? You buy rental property, you have a huge capital risk. You got to spend $20,000, $30,000 to buy that rental property. You have to invest in it, sometimes fix it up. You put a renter in it, and if you're lucky, you might make $200 to $400 a month in passive residual income, which will be about $3,000 to $4,000 a year. That's if the furnace doesn't break, something doesn't go wrong and you lose that entire revenue. I have 5 or 6 rental properties, and I'll tell you, they're a pain. But now my agent partners, they're almost the same net that I would make on one rental property. So they're very important to me, and I answer the phone when my partners call me. Now, I'll tell you guys, I started with 14 people in my organization, so I cheated. I had a team, and I came to EXP with 14 people. But those 14 people have turned into 231 people in 10 different states. That is huge. So the scalability of this is insanity. People find me on social media. People reach out to me through friends. I've actually had family members that say, hey, you need to talk to that person in Florida. So just think of revenue share as a fantastic exit strategy. In 5-10 years, you'll be thrilled once you're getting a check for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. I can tell you all that right now, EXP Realty, pretty much on my revenue share plan, pays for my office, both of my homes, and my 3 rental properties already. So those bills are covered with just the revenue share plan. So it's an amazing opportunity, I think, for all of us to participate in and spread the good word. All right. So I don't know if I'm going to go through this, Rich. I think sometimes it's confusing, but the reality is when you are an agent at EXP, my sponsor, every time I sell a home, she gets, a certain percentage of the money that I send from my 80-20 split. And I'm so thankful for that partnership because I can pick up the phone and Michelle's going to answer right away. So just know that this is truly a model that helps you have 7 mentors, 7 coaches right above you, and then a whole plethora of agents that are just willing to help. All right, EXP World, I think we're bringing that back to you, Rich.
Yeah, so absolutely. So the revenue share model is a pretty cool setup. That's how Tina was able to blow up from 14 agents to 231 agents, right? Every single agent that she brought over now had the same exact opportunity. So like for me, the way that worked is I brought over 47 agents to this company over the course of 35 months. So, I mean, I'm not exactly running a 4-minute mile. I'm just bringing over a couple agents a month. And those 47 people brought over 190 agents. And those 190 agents brought over 215 agents. And that 215 brought over 205. And now I'm in half of the country. And they brought over 141 agents. And you get paid a very small percentage of the revenue, the gross commission that they make. And it comes out of EXP's checkbook, not yours, because we were able to eliminate all of these expenses with the brick and mortar and having everything streamlined with the immersive digital technology that we have. They've been able to pay the agent on the gross commission out of the 20% they pay. So you get paid from the first deal to when they cap. Once they're at 100%, there's nothing to share. We celebrate them, and then next year it starts all over again. And to Tina's point, and I try not to talk about numbers here because it makes me just sound like I'm arrogant, and I'm really just grateful and trying to show you the blueprints of how we can do this. But it retired me out of selling real estate altogether. And I retired my parents within 5 months of being at this company because I took this seriously. So it's a game changer. When I see my mom and dad remodeling their house and taking vacations to Europe again, it just reaffirms why I'm here. So let's talk about the cloud. This is what it looks like. Pretty crazy, right? It's got your name on top of it. When I see people with a cowboy hat on there, I assume they're from Texas. I ask them. They almost always say yes, or Oklahoma. And this is where we do information sharing and collaborating and meetings. And frankly, Tina and I would never use Zoom to meet. We could just meet in the cloud because we both work at EXP, right? So we have all of our specialized departments in here. When we have the auditorium, like when we had COVID-19, we had agents step up. We had our whole, with COVID-19, we had our whole shareholders meeting in there. I think you talked, Tina, right? Were you on stage on that? I wasn't sure if you were or not. Yeah, I thought you were. So was I. I taught a revenue share class, right? So, I mean, we gave back to the community as our, chance to pay it forward. And we do it in this kind of immersive technology. I could hit play on this thing, but, the next minute and 30 seconds, I'm too short on patience are. But it'll show you what it looks like, the world. I'll hit play for a second and then I'll stop. Yeah, it's too dramatic for me right now. But it shows you a whole cloud campus and how it works. And we have that as the EXP shareholders here. So I'll turn it back over to Tina. We have healthcare. Imagine that. I was paying $14.50 a month at Blue Cross Blue Shield. We paid $31,000 in medical bills in 2019 on my taxes. I had a midlife crisis. I have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. So we actually had lots of bills for that. And then when we moved over and enrolled in EXP Healthcare, it dropped down to $855 a month, and our total payout is $12,500. So it was an upgrade in every way. Tina, how did that work out for you?
It was great. I mean, I was paying, $17,000 a year in insurance, and now I'm paying $8,400 a year, and the insurance is awesome. So, and that's not just my story. There's several people on our team and in our organization that have switched over. So it's been great.
Very cool. And with our healthcare, a quarter of agents are not insured What a crazy stat. You want to hear another crazy stat just to go off down a rabbit hole? The average agent is female, as you guys know in real estate. I was always one of the three guys at the office. And then the average age of our realtor is 58 years old. And someone tried selling me this whole idea, well, it's a second or third career for many people. And I'm like, there's no other business in the world where the average employee is 58 years old. And what's the reason? And the reason is because when 2008, 9, 10, 11 came around, we couldn't save any money for retirement. And when the market crashes or we have a health scare or some kind of problem that detracts us from working as excessively as we work, it hits us financially presently, but it hits us down the road as well. So that's a big, big difference, is having the health care, which is the first cause of bankruptcy, and then having the ability at EXP to have more resources. So we talked about lane one, selling real estate. We talked about earning stock. Tina shared her story about shares of stock. She has almost as much as I have. She's been here half the time. Goes to show you being an icon agent is a quick route. And then the third thing is revenue share. We both subscribe to that, because if you have influence and you are convicted that it's better for the agents that you liked in your cross transactions, we just decided to have one more sentence at the end of the deal take place, and we grew our teams. But let's go back to how we sell real estate here. So Tina, I am at a production. You're in it like very few people in the country. Tell us what our solutions are at EXP and how you sell real estate through here.
I mean, really, so much of it is what we're used to in a traditional office. I mean, for us, so, we were able to use enterprise, which I love. I am not a techie person at all. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not techie. But what I love is when I sign into EXP Enterprise, I literally have everything at my fingertips and I can get to everywhere. So we use, SkySlope for our transaction management. Think of SkySlope as, you've got all your compliance team on the back end. You're uploading your document. They're sending you little love notes if you forgot something. They're making sure that we get paid. And like Rich said, this was the most exciting thing for us in North Carolina. We get paid at the table and the money's wired right into our account. We don't have to wait 4 or 5 days for, our office manager to get us our checks. So we use SkySlope. We have Workplace by Facebook. So think of Workplace as a community of agents, 33,000 agents that are collaborating in a space where they're uploading all their listing presentation, buyer presentations. And some agent asked me, why would you guys be sharing all of your collateral with each other? And I said, think about it. We're all shareholders in a company. We want everyone to kick ass. That's the bottom line. I mean, I want them to take my stuff. My playbook is completely open. I have sent my scripts to agents in every state because they're like, hey, we saw you on whatever. Can you share that? Sure. Come to our company, enjoy and grow and prosper. That's a different dynamic. So Workplace has been amazing to communicate. CRM and lead generation. I was paying $1,000 a month for Brivity. That is gone. I don't pay for Brivity anymore. I saved 12 grand there. I actually got rid of my coaching. I don't pay the $12,000 of coaching anymore because I have all these amazing minds like Rich to just tap into, and they're so willing to help. So I got rid of that. The CRM has been a game changer. We took everybody off Brivity. We put them onto KV Core. Just 3 days ago, we uploaded a listing and got 90 free leads because 8 people were clicking onto our listing and putting in their information. So the CRM has been awesome for us, and we've already closed a couple deals through KV Core. And then our branding and marketing. Again, I'm a branding and marketing snob. If you go to caulgroup.com, you're going to see that everything looks a certain way. The thing that I was worried about at EXP is that I had to use their blue and orange. Most people don't love blue and orange. Sorry, Glenn Sanford, I love you, but it wasn't for me, right? And so what I love is that I was able to brand myself. I was able to keep the black and white. I was able to use the black and white EXP logo, just marry that right onto the bottom of my sign, and it looks fantastic. So I didn't lose who I am. And the thing that I love about our founder is that he understands that we are the brand, right? I was at Remax forever, did 68 million. I moved my brokerage, and guess what happened? We called all of our clients and said, hey, we're moving to Keller Williams. And they were all so confused that we didn't do it when we moved to EXP. They were just worried about, is Tina going to still be selling real estate? Because that's what I care about. And I didn't even know who she was with. So think about branding as you want to brand yourself. EXP just powers that brand. It just gives you all the solutions that you need on the back end to run your business. And for $85 a month, I'm just shocked that we're running a $3 million company and we don't have any hiccups. So amazing, amazing back-end solutions.
Very cool. So I was going to have you expand upon, we have SkySlope. We do all of our digital signatures on there. So that's all built in.
Yes.
Again, we're very green. You know, Workplace. Have you guys used Workplace, Tina? In Charlotte, you know, I go on Facebook and I see what someone else ate or how they're going to vote. Right. So I'm like on suicide watch after 15 minutes. I go on Workplace and I get business and I give out business. And we have agents in Charlotte that have done $3-4 million of business this year, because we have agents from Wyoming and California. Everyone's moving to North Carolina, right? Yes. Raleigh, it started in the 80s with IBM. In Charlotte, it was a bit later, but they're both hot spots and our weather's good and life's nice here. This is happening all the time. Have you played with this at all in any of these?
Yeah, we've closed, I think, 12 referrals in the last 14 months with just making connections with other EXP agents. And like I said, I've never found, you know, at my other two brokerages, there wasn't a place where I could just go meet all the agents and actually interact with them, see their profile, like their stuff, kind of create a voice that, hey, I'm in Raleigh here. If you need me, you know, send me your referrals. So that has been another game changer to add revenue to our business.
I mean, so you know, if you get our personalities, Tina and I are probably wired almost the exact same way, different styles, very similar approach. So I promise you that we're winging this. And I don't know if you remember this, but you actually called me when you came over with a referral for somebody moving to Lake Norman, right? So it happens agent to agent. We're a good example of that, even though that was, you know, whatever, a year ago. And we have state groups in here, local groups, social hours, all kinds of clinics, announcements. Tina and I are both in the influencer group at this company, which is the top revenue share people. So when we talk revenue share, we talk by being a presenter of being examples of it.
And luxury groups. You know, I was very worried that I sell luxury homes. So we sell from $1 million to, we just closed a deal for $5.9 million. I was very nervous that EXP wouldn't be seen as a luxury brand, but I'll tell you, we didn't miss a beat. Nobody asked, nobody cares. Why? Because I brand Caul Group. So nothing changed for us. And they have a fantastic luxury department. Their luxury signage is beautiful. So yeah, no hiccups there.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. So I'm going to meet Courtney, our new marketing girl, let me see, 4:00 on Monday to talk about the logo that's changing. So we've had this EXP logo that you see on the bottom, which anybody who's got the eye that Tina has doesn't love it. And for anyone who has the eye that I have, I figured out we'll just make it small. I don't care. Right? So that's been our two approaches to handling the logo. And we're changing the whole thing. I think actually the whole house emblem is going to come off and the letter is going to be sophisticated. But we have 17 different versions of that logo right now. Some black and white. Most of them are in color. It's all going to radically change. So if you're with the company and you're on this call, I think there was 40-something people on this call last to check. Don't wrap your car and don't get an EXP tattoo this year. Okay, it's going to change.
Yeah, I was on one of the four people that were, you know, giving them ideas about changing it, and I think we're all going to be very excited about the change. So
yeah, I was in the next bucket of people that my input wasn't going to be that important because they saw my branding. So the CRM and lead generation is a pretty wild thing. So let me just talk about that for a second. So you know, this is not the only thing at this company that's not proprietary. You're looking at it. You can go get KV Core, used to be called Conversion, on your own and spend $600 to $800 a month and $1,500 to start it up to get all the support that we get here at EXP. Plus, we can always call KV Core. They support us online. But what's really cool about this is that you can use your social media as a sword instead of a rock. And you can create unlimited splash pages for first-time buyers, for luxury, for VA home loans. You can have websites on each of your listings. You can use it as a net to catch fish buyers versus one hook. And we get a free website when you come over to EXP, and then you're able to build out this KV Core, and we have weekly training on it. And this is really the autopilot. When you're going to Italy, at some point, the pilot needs to get up and stretch his legs, and the plane doesn't crash into the ocean, right? Well, that's the CRM and KV Core lead generation built into it. And it's a little bit more intuitive with the predictive behavior and artificial intelligence in the sense that you don't just get a name and a phone number that's a bum number or a bad email. You actually can see what they're doing on social media, and you can click. And, you know, what I used to have happen a lot back when I was selling and leading my team was we would have people say, look, I want to buy a house between 4 and 5, and you show them houses between 4 and 500,000. They hate it all. So they actually end up just looking at houses between 5 and 6. And I wouldn't know about that. So now we spend a Saturday looking at 15 houses at houses that they don't like, yet they can afford easily. And what KV Core does is it just takes all of the guesswork out of it. It starts showing them properties that are in the price that they're searching for. So now when you're going to search properties, it's actually steered by the person who's going to write the check. Pretty nice to have it set up like that. In addition, when we're talking about marketing and branding, we have a bunch of different type of realtors that come to EXP. So let's just talk about the new agent. I'm brand new. Some other company is going to take advantage of me and take 50-50 forever. And then if I survive being slow, not knowing how to get business, asking my competition for help, trying to find my broker in charge day after day, and I'm able to succeed despite the odds of 81% of people not succeeding, then and only then can I go ask for a raise, right? Not at EXP. So on your first 3 deals as a brand new agent, you're going to get a mentor. And that mentor is a 20% add-on. So you're at a 60-40 for the first 3 days, but you have somebody to hold your hand through every process, every part of it. You also have, in North Carolina, 5 broker in charges. You also have the person who brought you, the people brought in. So that's all available. You have a coaching team like you were going into the Olympics. Okay. In addition to that, as soon as you get past those 3 deals, you're at an 80-20 like the rest of us. So if you want to raise, no problem. Cap fast, go to 100%, and then go icon and get it all back. Okay. You have your own autonomy. So we end up getting new agents. We get agents that are exhausted, like I was. When I came over to this company, I was at 40. And honestly, my screen time was like 11 hours a day. And I know my wife loves me because I wasn't present for half of the time and she still stayed with me, right? So I know that, this is a very taxing business because of its unorthodox hours. At EXP, for us agents that have been doing it for a long time, that have some influence, that have built teams, and that have seen the pain points and blind spots of this business, we were able to now leverage ourselves by building expansion teams anywhere in 7 countries. And they were able to have their own autonomy. They didn't have to adopt mine. Tina and I are not in the same group here, but I would never work for Tina Caul Real Estate Group because of my ego, and she'd never work for Rich Tomasini Real Estate Group because of her ego, and it should be that way. I don't look at that as a negative. I look at that as pride. It's taken 20 years of efforts and nights and weekends and experimental advertising and the whole gamut to build something, and you should be proud of it and not just hand it over because you're having a bad day or a scared day. At EXP, we actually embody that. Keep your own autonomy, yet you still get us on our collaboration as in the organization or as like a team would fit. And it can look exactly like yours. If you don't have it, it'll look like this on the left. If you do have it, it'll look like Tina's. Perfectly prestigious and luxury and branded well and recognizable at a glance. You can build out your own signs. You can order your coffee cups, hats, shirts, all the paraphernalia you can imagine that says EXP on the cloud. Everything is remotely ordered. Last, we have preferred partners. I spent about this much time on that slide. And then we talk about joining EXP. So what's really cool about this call here, I'm going to stop the share and open up the camera for a second because we've got a lot of people here. So what's really cool about this is that there's 43 people on this call. Somebody invited you to this call. That doesn't mean that you guys should contact me. Go to whoever invited you. Whoever invited you is trying to say, listen, I was in California with a pickaxe and my family in a wagon, and I struck a rock and I found gold. And I want you to grab an axe and let's pick at this together and find as much as we can. They are trying to reveal an opportunity. It's not an opportunity for us. I mean, the most I make on an agent in my organization is $2,800 when I bring them over per year. I can sell a $90,000 house in less time than working with somebody over the course of 12 months. But what we are able to do is build long-standing relationships and create an empire together that doesn't serve one. It serves everybody in the empire. And that's why revenue share is such an enlightening concept for agents that understand leverage. If you gave me the opportunity of having 10 listings at 5% commission or being able to get 0.5% on 2,000 listings, I'll take the 0.5%, right? And that's the key. And what we learn in this business, I read this book called The E-Myth Revisited about, I don't know, I dropped out of college, so I started reading books in my 20s just to offset, probably back in 2007 or 8. And it talked about the technician. And what happens in a small business, which is what we are, all small business owners, is you're a technician and you become very proficient at doing one thing. So Tina and I were technicians, just like you guys were. And unlike the 90% of the business, we found ourselves able to float in this stormy ocean of real estate, right? So we floated. And then we became very good swimmers. And we realized, oh my goodness, we're so good at doing this that we've traded our entire lives to be this good at doing it. And we can't make money anywhere in the world like we can make money doing this with a little bit of flexibility in our time. I didn't want to have a boss, and I ended up with 70 of them. So, but I mean, we still have some decision in that. We don't punch a clock, right? So then we said, okay, listen, let's become managers, because we're terrible managers. We should definitely become managers. And then we managed other technicians that were not as proficient as we were in the field. But we understood what their problems were, and we were never grateful, because they don't do it like we do it. And they never loved us as managers because we're not very good at it. We're not wired to be that way, right? And then we become entrepreneurs, and we hire someone who's a good manager, which is EXP. And then we build good technicians because we're not having to do all these other roles that we're not really in line to do. And that's what allows us to actually be in alignment. And look at Tina's volume. It went up, and her hours are going to go down, because as revenue share continues to build, I can tell her I was just where she was at not very long ago. Her next year is the best year of her life financially. And then her next year is probably, God willing, the best year of her life personally, because she's home more. And then you know what? It happens times 100 again the next year. So now, approaching 44 years old, I'm thinking, I would never be thinking to myself, oh, great, I'm excited about having more white hair and a couple more squint lines and not being able to run a full marathon easily, right? Or whatever, right? I could think that way. But now I actually think better. I'm like, my goodness, I'm never going to miss a soccer game. It's pool time at my house at 2:00. Our income is diversified across 6 countries and soon to be many more. We have the ability to be ambitious here. And that's been so brainwashed out of our heads for so long. I just want to reawaken that. And there was no better person to bring on this call than Tina. I'm happy to have you on as often as you can take away from your work. But that is EXP Explained, from 2 radically different markets in the same state that are getting to know each other through this platform. It's a very, very cool thing. So we open up this part for Q&A. Tina did a very, very specific, routed job at talking about how she sells real estate, which is probably the key of why you guys are here on this call. So if she can allow us to pick your brain for 10 more minutes, open up your mics, ask questions. We're happy to cover something that we went over fast.
I will ask a question and step in rudely. For a brand new agent, because you both have done things radically different, congratulations to both of your success. As a brand new agent, what is the top 3 things at EXP, specifically with the tools, but within the industry? A brand new agent, what's the first 3 things you would both individually recommend that they do to get their business up and running from right now?
Ladies first.
Yeah, I mean, I think, if you're a brand new agent and you've never sold a house, I think it's so important to know, what is your game plan? You're coming into a 9 to 5, right? Most people come into real estate and say, I want freedom. You're not getting freedom in real estate. If I told you, hey, you can earn $1 million selling real estate, what is your plan? Your plan for me should be that you better get into the office. You better learn how you're going to get in front of people, not just the people you know, but the people you don't know. What are your hours of operation, and what are you doing hour per hour to move the needle forward? And so I would say at EXP, get in the world and take every single class you can think of afternoons, because in the morning you have to learn how to, you opened a bakery. How do you get people to come to your bakery? So you have to learn the area. I would say you have to prospect, get in front of people. You have to learn the area and the inventory. So you go out and you look at property. And then you kind of figure out who is your style of selling, and then study everything and copy them like I did.
Great. I don't know how to improve upon that. I think for me, just because I went to public school, so I'll make mine very simple. If you're not a lead generator, you're out of business.
Yes.
So having some lead generation built into your model is very important. I see Trevor making a comment, and actually he leads me to my second point. You need a mentor. So if I was to climb Mount Everest, I need a tour guide to tell me even what to pack and how to get which approach to get up there and lower my chances of death, right? So I can enjoy the summit. And then the second thing is I need a Sherpa, someone to carry all my stuff, because I'm not an experienced climber. And the mentor is the Sherpa, and your sponsor is the tour guide. So it can really, really be a big thing. You can't get the training that Tina and myself and many of you on this call can get anywhere else without writing a huge check. And here it's all free. Let me check the chat box, because some of us are more shy than others.
Yeah, I think that the thing that I always think about as a new agent, when I started 20 years ago, I asked every agent in my office, I would bother them, hey, Tom Booz, could you help me do this? Could you help me do this? And they were sweet and they helped me, but I felt like I couldn't bother them enough, or I bothered them too much sometimes. So the fact that you partner and come in through a sponsor, and then you need to know who your upline is, right? Tap into the people that are above the person that brought you in, because there's so much knowledge. And now I have 7 partners above me that if I pick up the phone and call them, they will answer, because I'm growing Raleigh for them, right? So they look at me as a business partner. If I say, hey, I need to know how to do this, this, or this, they're like, sure, Tina, whatever you need. Learn who your upline is. Learn how to tap into them and get the information that you need. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We're not going to figure it out on our own. That's for sure. And so I'm 20 years in, I'm still asking questions. I'm still picking up the phone and calling Rich and saying, how did you do this? How did that work for you guys? So I'm still a student of my craft 20 years later. So you won't know what you don't know until you ask.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example too. So Tina doesn't ask me questions on real estate. She doesn't need to. But we were talking about revenue share the other day when we were getting ready to have this call. And, I've been at, I'm like a sophomore in high school here, and she's come over as like the freshman that everybody's taken notice to. And it's a bilateral learning experience. How did she grow so fast? Right. And I can tell you 10,000 things of what I did wrong here. But what I do with my agents is I teach them the 5 things I did right. And we really filter this down. I've got 19 people that I brought over directly that could retire from real estate and control their expenses and never lose their house, never have to drive an old car forever, all of the stuff set up. My top revenue share earner last month made what most realtors make in a year in revenue share. My worst of the people that succeed made $900. So even imagine $900, right? So that's, at the end of the year, you got another 10 grand. And then say you iconed, because you can do it here with lead generation and the coaching. So there you got another 16,000. That's $26,000, right? That $26,000 in 10 years is $250,000. Mm-hmm. And if the stock keeps growing the way that it's been growing, and I can't forecast it, I have zero stock knowledge, then who knows what it could be. All I do know is that, like Tina mentioned, when we bought Virabella, we had every Fortune 500 company under the sun try to cope with having their employees work through COVID-19. And this was the shining light at the end of the tunnel. Imagine Stanford University is teaching their college kids in the auditorium that Tina and I do regularly, right? Microsoft is now taking all their employees and putting them in this remote learning, with Virabella having their own office space and avatars, and they're operating and having meetings where they share screens and the whole thing of it. I didn't invest in Zoom stock once it popped because I don't feel like Zoom's necessary for us, right? In addition to that, if they're recording this call, my account might be frozen next week. And then in addition to that, we have Virabella, which has caused Glenn Sanford to be on every news station across the country in the last 6 weeks. So we have a lot in this stock. It's not just real estate, but it's technology, it's mortgage, it's title, it's a health savings account, it's data mining. We have our own thing called Neighborly, which is going to replace KV Core or something like it. So there's a lot here. So anyway, listen, I know everybody's time is short. It's 11 o'clock. We stayed true to our words. We took an hour of your time. Please recycle back to whoever invited you on this call. If Tina or one of her folks invited you on the call, go back to her. If I did, even if someone wants to talk to Tina that's on my call, ask away. We both trust each other. We want to grow this thing, and I'll have you anytime that you're willing to be a guest, Tina.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I appreciate the opportunity. And all I can say is, just keep thinking about what's next. We're the real MVPs in every brokerage, and the brokers know that. I think we didn't know that until now. So bless you all. See you later. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.